So in the last class, we are looking into the third party procurement process, right? So today we will be looking into the outline agreement. So import procurement we have already seen. So today we will be looking into the outline agreement. Okay. So outline agreement in SAP, there are two types of agreements are there. One we call it as a contract. Second one is called as a scheduling agreement. Okay. So what is a contract and what is a scheduling agreement? So we will be looking into it. So now these agreements are a long time contract between a company and a supplier. Okay, these are the long time contract, let's say for 6 months or for 1 year, for 2 year, for any period of definite period of time. Okay, so let's say there is a contract. I believe outline agreement we have somewhat we have seen, right? So contract release order, these things we have already seen in the last class, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So this is the first type of or one type of outline agreement, that is a contract. So when you create a contract with a supplier, so then for that period of time, whenever you require some material, you will be providing a purchase order to that contractor or to that supplier, and they will be supplying you a product. Okay. So here we are also having the concept of purchase order, but this purchase order is called as a contract release order. So here you can see, first there will be a PR of the total material, let's say whatever material you require for, let's say 6 months or 1 year or for 2 years, whatever material you are having, you define, you have find out the demand. What is the demand? So let's say 1,000 product you need for a period. Now you will be searching for a supplier. For that, you will be going with the RFQ quotation comparison. Same as of the process like standard procurement. You will go for RFQ, you will go for quotation, you will go for quotation comparison. You will be finding out a supplier. Now, once you are finding out a supplier, you have to create a contract with them. Okay. So contract is a document. You have to create a contract with them. Okay. Now, whenever you require, now let's say we will be having a PR2, means demand 2. Let's say this is the total demand. Now for next month, or let's say for next sometime, you will be requiring 10 piece of material. Now with this second PR, you will be, with respect to this second PR, you will be creating a purchase order, or you will be creating a contract release order. So that purchase order will be created with respect to your contract. Okay. Now that's why it is called a contract release order. Now after the contract has been, this contract release order has been sent to the vendor, they will be sending you material. You need to do the GR and you need to do the IR. Okay. This is the simple process. Only here, with respect to contract, you have to create a contract. Rather, for the let's say for the normal P2P cycle or for standard procurement, for the standard procurement, you are creating an info record, right? So whatever um, supplier you are selecting, with respect to them, you are creating an info record. But here, without the info record or at the place of info record, you have to create a contract with them. Okay. So you have to create a contract with them. With respect to that contract, you can create a purchase order. Okay. So this is the outline agreement. This is the contract process. Now, what is a scheduling agreement? So scheduling agreement, basically, let's say you have identified the demand, as well as you have identified when you require that product. Okay. So let's take an example of, let's say you are purchasing milk. Okay. So let's say you are purchasing milk, so from any online platform, or let's say any offline vendor. Okay. Offline vendor means your any milkman who is supplying the milk to you. Okay. So what you can do, daily you are not going to ask him, okay, tomorrow I'll need some milk. Likewise, you don't have to ask them, right? You don't have to ask them. what you say, you can say, okay, I'll be needing let's say liter of milk or half liter of milk for next 1 month. Daily you have to give me 1 liter of milk every day. In the morning time you can say, in the morning time or in the evening time you can give me a packet of milk, or you can say a liter of milk, you can tell them. So every day you don't have to ask them. For 1 month, they will be giving you a liter of milk or a packet of milk for the next 1 month at your defined time, morning time or evening time, they will be giving you. Okay. So this is called a scheduling agreement. When you directly, whenever you are having an agreement with the vendor, along with that, you are saying on which dates you need the product. Okay. So there will be no purchase order for the scheduling agreement. Okay. Now the process will be same as of this. You can see the top section is there, it is the same. So whenever there is a requirement, let's say requirement of a material for 1,000 quantity, you'll go for RFQ, you'll go for quotation, you'll go for comparison, you'll find a supplier, or else if you know the supplier directly, you will go for a scheduling agreement. So you'll create a scheduling agreement document. There in the scheduling agreement, whenever you create a scheduling agreement, with respect to that, you have to create some scheduling dates. Okay. You have to create some scheduling dates. How you can create that, we will be looking into it when we go inside the process, or when we look into that procurement in details. Okay. This is basically the process, how the process will happen. So now after the scheduling agreement, you create a scheduling agreement. Along with that, you have to create some delivery dates. Okay. So that delivery dates you have to share to the vendor. You don't have to like, there will be no second PR will be there, or there will be no purchase order will be there. There will be nothing will be there. Eh, with the, at the place of these things, there will be a delivery dates will be there. So when you send this scheduling agreement, let's say here this is the scheduling agreement. Okay, so now this is the scheduling agreement. So how this will happen? So after the scheduling agreement, there will be delivery addresses, delivery dates will be there. So you have to share this delivery dates to the vendor. Now on those delivery dates, let's say you have shared a delivery date of, let's say 27th or 28th of March, you have shared the first consignment, or uh, first delivery date is on 27th or 28th of March. So on the 28th of March, your supplier will send you the material. So they will, means you don't have to again create a purchase order to have a product, rather than you have already shared the delivery dates on those dates. Okay. Whatever dates are there in the, you have shared them. So on those dates, they will be supplying you the goods, and you will be receiving the goods at that day, and next you will be doing the invoice for that one. So this is basically the scheduling agreement process. Okay. So here we can say contract. So here we can say this as a contract, and this as a scheduling agreement. So understood these two process?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next process is stock transfer process. So what is a stock transfer process? Let's say there is a requirement in any plant for a material. Okay, let's say the material is being manufactured in another plant, or let's say the material is being stored in other plant. So what you have to do, you have to do a stock transfer. Okay, there will be no purchasing will be happening. Let's say, what do we mean by purchasing? So you don't have to pay for, let's say, there are different types of stock transfer orders. So in the major cases, you don't have to pay for the material. Normally you have to pay for the let's say any kind of transportation charges are there, you have to pay for them. Okay. So in the stock transfer process, there will be a concept of supplying plant and the receiving plant, because we are supplying from one plant and we are receiving in another plant. So there will be a concept of supplying plant and the receiving plant. So where the process will start? So the process will start from the receiving plant. So let's say from the receiving plant, you have identified a demand. So now PR in the PR in the receiving plant. Okay. So there is a demand has been identified in the receiving plant. Now with respect to this receiving plant PR, you have to create a purchase order. PO in the PO in the receiving plant. Okay. So just PO in the receiving plant. Now you have to send this purchase order to the supplying plant. Okay. Now you have to send this purchase order to the supplying plant. If you are having a SD method, so this is an integration topic. The stock transfer process is an integration topic. So if there is a shipping method is there, now they will be creating a sales order in the supplying plant. So just try to understand. Just try to understand. So let's say there is a purchase order you are sending. Now you are saying that you need to buy something. So for the seller, it will be a sales order. Okay. For the supplying plant, it will be a sales order. So with respect to this sales order, they will be creating a outbound delivery. Outbound delivery in the supplying plant. Okay. So with respect to this sales order, they will be creating a outbound delivery. So what is the outbound delivery? Outbound delivery is basically, it is a delivery which you have to, through which you have to send the product. Okay. So with respect to outbound delivery, you have to send the product. Now once the outbound delivery is created, you have to do the PGI. Okay. Post goods issue in supply plant. Okay. Now with respect to this delivery, you have to do the post goods issue. Okay. Now whenever you do the goods issue in the receiving plant, you have to do the goods receipt in the receiving plant. Okay. Now you can do the IR in the receiving plant. Okay. Understood this process? So now you need to understand the concept of supplying plant and the receiving plant. So first the demand will be identified in the receiving plant where you are going to receive the good. At that point of time or at that plant, there will be some demand will be generating, like we need some material. So whenever you require some material with respect to that PR, you will create a purchase order. So in this purchase order, it is called as a stock transfer order. Okay, we can call that STO. we can we can call it as a STO. So stock transfer order purchase or PO. Okay, STO PO, or we can call it simply, we can call it as a STO, stock transfer order. Whenever you create a stock transfer order in that supplying plant, it will be a sales order. So they will be creating a sales order with respect to that one. If there is SD shipping method is there. If there is no SD shipping method is there, let's say your two plants are nearby only. Okay, let's say one plant, two of the plants are nearby only. You don't have to ship the product. Let's say directly you can send it. So in that case, there will be no sales order will be there. Directly you can create a outbound delivery So with respect to that outbound delivery, you will be issuing the goods from your warehouse or from your storage location. Okay, so once you are issuing this, this will be received by the receiving plant. So now goods received in the receiving plant. Now with respect to this goods receipt, you will be doing the invoice receipt. Understood this process or any
Yes,
doubt?
sir.
Okay. Okay, so this is basically the stock transfer process. Okay, so next process is external service procurement. Okay, so external service procurement will happen as the same of the standard procurement or standard procurement process, but here there are some changes are there. So let's say there will be a PR for material. So here PR for service. Okay, PR for service, let's say X. So now you have to create a RFQ with respect to PR. Then there will be a quotation. Then there will be price comparison. Then there will be, we're removing this one. Okay, price comparison. Now you have to create a service PO. Service PO or service purchase order. Okay, so we will create a service PO. So now whenever you create a service PO, at that point of time there will be no GR, there will be a service entry sheet. Okay, there will be a service entry sheet where you can enter the service, what kind of service you are availing. There you are doing the service entry sheet. So in the service entry sheet there will be every details will be captured over there, like what kind of service is there, when the service is going to happen, or who is going to service it. So everything will be there in the service entry sheet. So here in the place of GR, like in the normal procurement, what we are having, we are having a goods receipt. So in place of goods receipt, we will be having a service entry sheet of the external service procurement. Okay, when we go for a service procurement, then we will be going for service entry sheet. In that service entry sheet, we will be entering what kind of services, means all the details of it. Then we can do the invoice receipt. Okay, same process, only at the point of GR. When you do the GR in the procurement, means for the material, if you are procuring the material, then you will be doing the GR. If you are procuring the service, you have to do a service entry sheet. That is the major difference. Understood this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, okay. So now our business processes has been completed, means the major business process we have completed. Okay, now we will understand what is the SAP systems and how the SAP systems will work, and how we can um, let's say how we can use the SAP systems, and what will be the organization structure, and what are the different kinds of SAP data are there. So we will be understanding those process. So just hold on a second. Fine. Okay. Okay. So what is a SAP landscape? So basically, what is meant by SAP landscape? SAP landscape means what kind of SAP instances or SAP, let's say, what do we call it? What are the SAP systems are there where we can work or how we can work? Okay. So in normal scenario or in a standard or general scenario, there will be three SAP systems will be there. Three SAP systems will be there. Okay. So first one is a development, second one is a quality, third one is a production. Okay, hold on a second. So these are namely three systems that we are having or we are going to work in the SAP environment or in the SAP landscape. There will be three. So it is called a three-tier landscape also we can call. So normally there will be three systems. One is a development system, one is a quality system, and one is a production system. So these three systems will be there at least to work on a SAP environment. Okay, so whenever you are going to work in a real SAP um, project or let's say real SAP client, so there will be definitely there will be these three environments will be there. So first one is a development. So what is a development client and why we use it? So development client is basically it is for your configuration. Okay, so whatever things, let's say settings are there, your SAP configurations are there, whatever things you are doing, the configuration part, you have to do it in the development system. Okay, so once you are doing the development, that we are developing the system, that's why it is called as a development only. So in the development, let's say you have done the configuration. Okay, let's take an example. Let's say for creating a material master or for creating a material, you need to have or you need to do certain development before that one. Certain development means certain configuration before that one. So once you are doing the configuration, then what you need to do, you need to test it. Okay, whatever things you have been done, you have done, if it's working or not, so you have to do the testing. Now how you can do the testing? Now you have to move that configuration from development to quality. In the quality you have to test. Okay, in the quality you have to test. Let's say in the quality environment your test has been successful. Okay, let's say the material master configuration you have done in the development, you have sent it to quality and you are checked in the quality that the material master is working as per the need. So whatever need is there, it is working as per the need. So now what you have to do, you have to move this from quality to production. There is also other processes are there, but this is in overall, in overview, this will be there. So first you will be developed in the development client, then you have to send it to the quality, there you have to test. Once the test is passed, then you have to move it to the production. Okay, then you have to move it to the production. So now once it is in the production, your end users who are there for the end users, they will be working on the production system. So in the production system there will be very less activity for the consultant. Majorly this will be used by the end users only to have their to work on their daily requirement. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so this is basically SAP landscape. So here we are in the test, here we are in the, let's say, dummy server. So there will be only one server will be there or one system will be there. You can consider it as a development or you can consider it as a quality, anything, no problem. So you can do the configuration over there. You can do the let's say transaction, or you can create the material master, you can develop some master data, you can develop some transactional data also. So what is the master data, what is the transactional data, we are going to look into it tomorrow. Okay, so this is basically in our let's say dummy server, we are only having one system, one, it can be said as development, but normally it is a sandbox system. Here you can see in the SAP landscape, these are interconnected. Okay, because of this interconnected, you can send the data. Let's say once you are saving the data, you can send it to the quality. Okay, you can send it to the quality, you can release it, and you can send it to the quality. How you can send, that is also a separate thing, we will be looking into it, how you can send it. Okay, send it across the system, how you can send it, we can see. Okay, now basically in our, let's say, where we are going to practice, it is a sandbox system. So there will be, it will be not connected to any of the systems. So normally if you are working in an implementation project, there will be a sandbox will be there, where you can do the practice, you can do all of the things, where the let's say the configurations and the data will not be moved to the next system. So that's why we are using a sandbox system. So basically for practice, whatever things we are using, that might be called as a sandbox, because it is not connected to any other systems, it is only a stand-alone system. So that's why it is called a sandbox. So you can do whatever things you want to do, you can do everything, but that is not connected to any other things. So in the implementation project also, or in the support project also, if you want to practice something, then you can go to the sandbox. If there is a sandbox, you can go there and you can practice in the sandbox. Or if you want to practice something, you can practice in the quality system. Okay, if there is no sandbox and you are in let's say support project, you want to practice something, you can go to the quality system and you can practice over there. Okay, this is basically the three systems. So this is basically the SAP landscape. So this is basically the SAP landscape where you are going to work. Okay, where you are going to work in the different environments. So development environment, quality environment, production environment. This is a basic overview. In coming classes, in some classes, whenever we start the, let's say, the real time classes or project classes, whenever we start, we will see in depth of it, what is the development client and what is inside the development client. Okay, there might be different 2 3 clients will be there inside the development server or development system. There will be one or two systems, two clients will be there in the quality system. Okay, so what are the details are there, we will be looking into it once we are starting the project classes. For now, you need to understand what is the segments, what are the systems are there, how you need to work, where you need to work. Okay, so that is a basic understanding. Understood? Understood
Yes,
everyone?
sir.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, if you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, we are closing this session. We will be connecting again on tomorrow. Having any
Okay, sir.
questions?
No, no.
Okay. Okay, fine. Then we will be connecting on same time tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.